Why have so many people quit their jobs? The Great Resignation, also known as the Big Quit, is an economic trend in which employees resign during and predictably after the pandemic. In the US and the UK, the number of people leaving their jobs is so high that such a phenomenon hasn't been seen for decades, and it's posing a challenge for companies.
Have you heard of the Great Resignation wave? We are currently seeing the largest migration of people quitting their jobs in more than 20 years. And people aren't just shifting jobs, they're shifting what they care about as well.
If restaurants and retailers think their staffing shortage is bad now, workforce analysts say COVID is about to trigger not one, but two more waves of the so-called Great Resignation.
That's right. More people than ever before are quitting their jobs. Restaurant workers are quitting. Teachers are quitting. Katie Couric quit being a journalist. And some of the numbers are crazy. 700,000 people quit retail jobs, which explains why the TJ Maxx I went to yesterday looked like it was hit by a tornado. What? Oh, it always looks that way?
Employers across the US and the UK are having trouble in both retaining and recruiting staff. In the US, 4.5 million people resigned in just November alone, and a British survey has found that almost 1 in 4 workers in the UK are planning to change jobs.
The Great Resignation is just one factor that is really contributing to this staffing shortage that we're seeing in the US right now. In the latest report from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the US had about 10.4 million job openings. Now, in that same time period, employers hired about 6.5 million people to fill that, but they lost almost just as many from people walking out the door. What this means, net on net, we're really not seeing a whole lot of gains, and this just becomes a vicious cycle. And that means employers are actually paying quite a bit of money these days to attract and retain their talent.
It was believed that once the vaccines had rolled out, people would return to work as normal, but that's hardly the case. And their reasons for quitting has little to do with the pandemic itself. One person explains, "I was working in HR and found out that my direct peers with similar experience were being compensated $20,000 to $30,000 more than me." Another says the list of responsibilities and duties kept growing as people left and weren't replaced. "I didn't get a pay rise, promotion, or even a pat on the back." After working 12-hour shifts for 2 months, one complains that all the extra work I did was easily worth $10,000. Come bonus time, my boss hands me $500. And the list echoing bad treatment at workplaces goes on and on. The pandemic has simply revealed a deep discontent a number of people felt with traditional work. As journalist and author Joanne Littman explains, the modern office was created after World War II on a military model, strict hierarchies created by men for men with an assumption that there is a wife to handle duties at home. The pandemic may well have triggered the Great Resignation, but more importantly, it has brought to light the deep flaws that exist within modern-day work tasks.
And the pandemic changed everything all over the world. Service people started realizing that they had to suit up and wear masks and take temperatures and wash their hands. We had to start standing 6 feet apart in lines. We started working from home. We started working virtually. And we started learning all kinds of things because we had to. All that muscle around innovation and flexibility and creativity that we didn't think we had all along.
The pandemic has shown that the way businesses are run are old-fashioned and, as some would argue, outdated. People understand that work is work, but they also want to enjoy what they're doing and be appreciated for it, considering they spend so many hours of their day at work. This new trend is now putting pressure on toxic work cultures to change. Companies and managers need to step up their game, or they'll lose talented employees to businesses that are more in sync with the times.